rolling ready when you are.
So today I wanted to talk about the fear of starting, and if I had £1 for every time someone said to me, A, must be wonderful to play with flowers, and B, I'd love to do what you do, I would be a multimillionaire. It's really interesting because I've been thinking about this a lot, how we get ourselves started on new projects, what do we do to help ourselves move forward in this, and especially in small businesses. And I did a workshop a couple of days ago, did an archway workshop, and one of the florists she's starting out, she's in a new business, she used to be a PA, and she's now having a career change, and she wants to become a florist. And we were talking about how that's going to happen and how she'll do that. I'm quite lucky in a sense that I come from a family of a lot of people who run their own businesses. So for me, growing up, owning my own business was completely normal. You know, it made sense to me. And I think maybe if you don't have that, it can be a bit more of a hurdle. But I think one of the things we looked at this workshop was in starting, I think one of the biggest issues is that people are worried about making mistakes because they don't know how to do things. So she'd never done an archway before. We'd been talking for a couple of weeks on Instagram, and she decided to come to this archway workshop that I was doing. But she had a brilliant attitude of kind of, I don't know what I'm doing, but even if I don't know what I'm doing, I'm going to make it up as I go along. I will learn through my mistakes and I will create something amazing at the end of it. But part of that process was coming to a workshop, so she could learn from someone else who knows what they're doing, quote unquote. So just to give you a heads up, I made my first archway last year. Never made one before. It worked quite well, and I thought, crikey, I know how to do this now. I'll teach some other people. But it's that thing of not being fearful around mistakes, because there will be cock-ups, there will be, they're guaranteed to be, it's life. But it's learning through those mistakes that I think as you grow as a business owner. So that would be, my first point would be start small. So for her, that lady who came to the workshop, she started with making a hand tie. She decided she quite liked it. She looked at some YouTube videos. She watched someone else on a Facebook forum did some tutorials, she watched those. She has gotten herself a part-time job as a florist, so she's learning there, but she doesn't like what they're doing, so she wants to set up on her own. So she started these small steps. She's now come to a workshop. She now understands more about archways, which is brilliant, but she made some mistakes in the workshop. It's fine. So we kind of talked through those, we looked at them, and she left feeling quite confident that she could create this archway. So don't fear mistakes, not worth it. And the next thing as well was that, and I know for myself, is within my business, I've built so many relationships that are encouraging for me. People that work within my industry, photographers, cake makers, venue owners, wedding planners, all of these kind of stuff. They edify my business as much as I edify their business, and they help me grow as much as I help them grow. So that's my next point, would be talk to as many people as possible. Go and make relationships with people. Go and find people that can help you. If you don't know how to do something, join a forum, join an organisation, go get some workshops, go learn, because that's as well, that helps you grow. And that helps you as well, because I think, as I've talked before about being part of the chapel designers, and my renewal for that has come up, and there's part of me that thinks, oh crikey, I've got to shell out how much money to be part of this group. But if I think about it, how much help that group has given me, because I can literally chuck anything onto that forum and go, I've got to build this, I don't know, 10-foot archway next month. I've no idea how to do it. Anyone got any advice? And it's brilliant, because there are florists in that group that are so much more, they've been around longer than I have. They have so much more expertise. So that's really, really helpful and really encouraging. So that would be my next point. Talk to as many people as possible. Go and find people that know stuff that you don't know, and get their advice and help. My next point would be perseverance. Crikey. If I'd have stopped at the first hurdle, my business would have lasted about 6 months, and then I'd be working in I don't know where. And perseverance is so important, because there are going to be a lot of hurdles. I think there's hurdles for every small business, And you do have to, when you've made mistakes, when things don't quite work out how you want them to, you have to look at those mistakes and go, okay, what do I need to do better? What do I need to change? What do I need to tweak? But ultimately, it's that keeping going. But I think in keeping going, it's making sure that you have got people around you that can kind of cheer you on. You know, my husband is brilliant for that. My friends are brilliant for that. My church is brilliant for that. My, community that I have around me is fantastic for that. And that's what you need. People who are invested in you, invested in your business. And that's how, Young Blooms, it got started with a loan from a family member. We started in a garage. It was pigging freezing, but we soon moved into the kitchen. Then we went to an awful farm building round the corner, which was hideous. And then we ended up at Hartley Farm, which for me is fantastic. It's a really supportive environment. The guys that own Hartley Farm are very encouraging of small business. They want to support you. And here it's allowed me to grow my own flowers. It's allowed me to have a workspace, and I get to drink really nice coffee, so it's all good. So those would be my top tips for starting out. Don't let fear stop you. It's not worth it, because otherwise you'll just be miserable. So get on with it. Go and talk to people. Find people that can encourage you to get over your fears and start what you need to start. So if you've enjoyed this video, do click subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you again soon.